Boing. My name is James.
James, what's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hey. Bright white shirt, nice.
Yeah. Super white.
You can sport anything.
That's right.
Yeah, we are live. I want to let you know that.
All right.
So, I don't know if we're saying hi to anybody yet, but
I think we were supposed to wait 4 minutes, right?
yeah, let me shoot Scott just a quick and Ember. How you doing, buddy?
Good, good. I was getting sleepy there for a minute, but chugged some coffee,
Chug
did some
some coffee.
exercise, made some more coffee.
Wow, exercise and coffee.
Yeah.
Haven't done a push-up today, but I'm gonna do 5 of them after this meeting. I'm gonna do 5 push-ups.
That's good, man. Yeah. Uh
You're so supportive. 5 is nothing. How many did you do?
I actually haven't done regular push-ups in a few weeks since we've been going to the gym.
Really nice.
Uh I got some dumbbells over there, so I did some curls and some overhead press like that.
Sick.
Uh yeah, get the blood flowing a little bit.
Oh yeah. Get that coffee to the brain.
Yeah, process this stuff for me.
Got a caffeinated drinker too.
Yeah, I
But
got an energy drink in the fridge. I'm trying to like put it off a little bit. Sorry for smoking, America. Nobody's perfect. We're here for progress every day, one day at a time. This is not going to be my progress today.
how much sober time you got there on alcohol?
Here, let me check the app.
Yeah, check your head. I'm gonna check mine.
Then I'll know exactly. 4 months, 13 days, 136 days.
136 days. That's
Yeah.
awesome, bro.
And it's gone by as though I blinked and it was 136 days later.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got 53 days sober from that, from a week short of a 2 month mark.
Man, that's incredible. I'm real proud of you, dude.
Thank you. Thanks,
Uh,
man.
That's
I
I
don't
got
have alcohol listed down in there, but I think I'm probably about a month since my last sip of alcohol. I haven't really targeted that much, but haven't haven't indulged in it too much either.
well, alcohol isn't really one of your vices. You know, you're one of the few people that can have a sip here and there. Not like me. If we go to lunch, baby, and I get a beer, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a beer when I go home, and then I'm gonna keep drinking beers until I go to sleep. And then the next morning, I'm gonna feel like garbage, so I'm gonna open more beer. And so you don't do that. You don't have to worry about it.
so so um, is it time? Is it time? Almost time.
Yeah.
Maybe one
I
hour. What's
wish we could
that?
get Amber. Wish we could get Amber in here.
Yeah, she's been away for a couple of weeks. Maybe she'll
I know
join
she,
us in today. Sometimes she comes in halfway through.
yeah, you know,
Place looks good. Your fishing poles.
yeah, I cleaned a little bit. I still got your fishing pole over here too.
Really? You want
The
to go fishing today?
nuh-uh.
No. You want to play video games today?
Yeah, I want to fish in a
I
video
want to
game,
fish in
bro.
the video game.
Oh.
Okay.
No, we might go tomorrow. I think Brian was talking about that a little bit.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, Amber.
all right. Hey, what's going on, Amber?
We just mentioned you. She's connecting.
Yeah.
There she is. Hey, can you hear us?
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome
Hey there,
back.
lovely lady.
We just mentioned you. Like,
Hang on, I'm trying to get my volume to go up on this.
we haven't seen you in a week or two. Welcome back.
Yeah, definitely. Um, well, John, you want to start off with the title for us?
Yes, I will. So today's meeting is on the keys to sobriety. What are the helpful tips and tricks that we have learned as people marked by addiction? So we want to just discuss that. I've got a couple pages of notes, but if I can, I'll start with one.
Uh-huh.
Um, for me, the biggest key to achieving sobriety was definitely changing the people, especially the people, places, and things. I got rid of my computer because I associated that with methamphetamine. I had to get rid of one of my best friends because he and I had methamphetamine in common. It's a tough thing to do sometimes, but changing up those people is going to be my number one. That's my big one.
Absolutely. I have that one down as well. Um, for the first few weeks, I had to stay away from my friends that were still having beers here and there. I couldn't sit in their place while they were having it. It was just too much for me. Uh, After some time passed, uh, I can tolerate that a little bit better. Uh, but as part of people, places, and things in recovery to achieve recovery and sobriety, uh, finding new people. You'll
Right.
if you are going at this hard, you're going to start to collect good, sober, or recovering friends that will help you on this journey. So people, places, and things. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I kind of looked at this from the standpoint of if you're using hypothetically, if we're using how to make that leap into recovery.
Yes.
The very difficult step of uh, of going from the drugs to no drugs, uh, cold turkey, cutting yourself off, uh, whatever you have to do uh, to get on that path. And the first few weeks are hard for a lot of people. So as you said, in those first few weeks, definitely avoiding the people, places, and things that are triggers for you. And then, so what can you do during those first few weeks to try to set yourself on a good path of recovery?
One thing that helped me was find my reason for having hope and for having positivity. And that was a newfound love for myself that I saw in someone else's eyes, and it was my reason for hope and change. So that was something critical, was identifying that reason. And it was essentially to be a better person so I could be in a relationship, so that I could be a good family member, a good friend. I had to love myself and I had to put myself first.
Yeah, that's a good precipice to create change, finding that new spark of love. For me, I had to distract myself as much as possible. Um, and a lot of times it meant doing things that I wasn't necessarily entertained with at the moment. It took several weeks before I could find any pleasure in watching a show or watching funny YouTube videos, playing video games, all of these things. While I was doing that, I was thinking, man, this would be so much better if I was drunk right now. Um, but I just kept forcing myself to do this stuff every day. Uh, as the days progressed, I started eating and having more energy to do more things, and then with that energy and health came the pleasure back for those activities that I was using as a distraction. So I really enjoy those activities. I can't get enough of all of them. There's not enough hours in the day. Um, so that was one of my main methods of coping with the first few weeks. Amber, do you have any insight on that?
Um,
Not to put you on the spot.
yeah, I did something uh physical, which was I'm a huge fan of wine in a box.
Uh-huh.
And I put a sticky note on it that simply said, define insanity.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
And I was like, anytime that I would think about going to get a drink or something, because I still had wine in it,
Yeah.
I would read that and be like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing over and over and expecting something to change, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah. That's wonderful. It takes a lot of strength to still have that stuff uh in the house. I've always been the kind of person that I had to cleanse everything. I couldn't see it at least for the first couple weeks, you know. Now when I see it all, it kind of disgusts me. Like whenever I think about like a strong bourbon or something like that, I'm like, no, that aftertaste, the kick, the poison side of it. I mean, you really start to look at it like it is poison. I mean, it's crazy that we've come to a point where so many people drink that stuff. Like, you take a swig of that, it's burning the hell out of you. Like, there's nothing pleasurable about that, except that you know that you're gonna feel a little something here in a minute. That, but it has the price, all that stuff.
You're right. Even wine, I don't like. I prefer milk to the taste of wine, or
Uh-huh.
Red Bull definitely. But
Yeah, beer as well. Like it all doesn't
yeah,
quite taste like something we
I
should be
think
drinking.
seltzer, so seltzer water. It's a
nice.
Oh, very nice.
apple
Yeah.
flavor.
Oh yeah.
So
No, that was a wonderful point to note there with the beverage. I had to surround myself with beverage alternatives. Like I had Gatorade, I had Sprite, I had water, I had coffee, I had energy drinks. I was just like, because I always felt that need to grab that beer can, but instead there had to be something else there. Um, yeah,
yeah,
a good.
that's exactly what I had to do. Is
Mhm.
I still do, is I surround myself with as many different options for things to drink as I possibly can. So I'll have different flavors of seltzer water. I have a bad addiction now to Diet Dr. Pepper. I've got to have that in the house all the time. Um, and then just getting juices and things like that. And while I would look at these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much money on juices and all these fancy things. And then I stop myself and I'm like, yeah, but how much were you spending on alcohol?
Yeah. No, I,
So
I I eat a lot of steak now, like I spend a ton of money on food. But it was that alcohol fund. It went to steak.
that's a nice shift.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoy it. Um,
Mm,
Having a distraction methodology was one of my items that helped me a lot. Still helps me all the time. Having anything to distract myself, the journal handy, the
yeah.
phone handy to be able to send somebody a text message. Um, Taking a photograph can sometimes be a distracting thing from a craving.
Mhm.
Um, Having
yeah, your
something.
hamburgers this morning look good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I made some veggie. They're veggie burgers, which James detested. He
Oh,
said he smelled the tofu from his apartment, and
You try to pass off a picture like it was real burger. Mm-mm, can't fool me, buddy. Yeah, it did look pretty good though.
cooking a meal can be a great distraction from a craving, and it gets you
Oh,
going and get your stomach going.
yeah.
You'll be lost in food instead of addiction. But
Yeah, absolutely. All the preparatory process of that, the taking the love and care and your spice selection, and the cooking it just right, all that stuff. Getting excited about actually eating something and have an appetite for it.
dude,
Yes.
I love cooking. And I have a toolbox in the kitchen, which John can attest
oh
to
yeah,
because he's now that is filled with spices.
That's like a professional chef's spice collection too. That's a
Mm,
really impressive spice collection. Every
Well,
drawer.
yes, every single drawer is full.
uh,
Uh, but it's something that the more creative I can get with food, the more of a distraction that is for me as well.
uh, also in the first week or so, uh, I would I would remind myself because it was fresh in my memory how bad I would feel the next morning. I would have the shakes a little bit. I would probably have woken up during the night with some hot, cold sweats type uncomfortableness. You know, the withdrawals, common withdrawals of alcohol. And I would just say, no, remember that you don't want that. I do that a lot.
I will tell you guys the trick that my dad used because my dad was an alcoholic for 23 years.
Yeah.
Uh, and he happened to smoke, oh, which the three of us do smoke. So,
Sorry,
um,
sorry, guys quitting smoking.
yeah, yeah, don't pick this up, please. Um, but what he did is he quit cigarettes and alcohol at the same time. And he said that he craved that cigarette way more than he craved the alcohol.
Oh, hmm. Yeah, I've heard
So
that
that,
nicotine super addicted. Yeah, like that.
yeah. So that's a different way of being able to quit that was successful for him. He's been sober for God, like 30 years now. And hang on,
That's
how old is my dad?
incredible.
He's old. He's almost 70.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so another part I think is acknowledging when it's time to quit, realizing that you have a problem. Uh, you know, that was something I had to come to terms with as well. Realizing that it was time to seek out help, that it was time to find a program, a therapist, a rehab, join a program like AA, NA, Smart Recovery, any of those kinds of things. It's like a big leap from being a person that doesn't do any of that kind of stuff to being like, all right, I got to go check into a place. And at at first it seems embarrassing, you know. Uh, to me anyway, I was like, oh, I thought I had my stuff squared away. I was you know, in charge of my life, but I didn't have power over the substances, and I take that leap to rehab, get over the supposed embarrassment that you think you're going to have or judgment from people. None of that matters. Your goal is getting yourself back to a place where you can recover without being in an inpatient facility, and that may take a couple of times. I mean, I for me it was two rehabs that I went to, and during the second one, I just knew there was a switch that flipped in me. It was the right time in my life that I was a new person almost. I became that new sober person that I wanted to be.
That's awesome, James. I'm glad you had that awakening. So I think it was a moment of awakening, and you're just like, whoa, I can't do this anymore. Excellent.
Well,
Yeah,
it's also you really powerful that you put yourself into rehab two different times, knowing what was going to happen the second time, but also knowing that, hey, you wanted to get to where you were being better for yourself and for other people. So that's really good.
yeah. Thank you guys. You know, rehab's a wonderful place. It changes your people, places, and things right away. So if you're in an environment where you can't get away from any of that kind of stuff, it is a, a, a fine adventure to go and be with people that are trying to do the same thing. You'll see people on all levels of addiction, people that are far worse than I was that I took note of. I looked at it and I was like, man, you know, how many times am I gonna mess up before I'm shaking like that guy? You know, not to judge that guy because you know I've been that way before. Um, but you start to see people get weathered by this poison that we take. it changes their bodies physically, it changes them mentally. Um, so being in an environment where everyone is trying to grow and be better, and you can see kind of different stages of alcoholism from young people to people that have been at it for a long while. But it definitely people, places, and things. It's an easy way to go change all that at once. Highly
That's
recommended.
true. That's so true.
Yeah, I have an extremely supportive husband that he has a nice collection of alcohol from different trips that he's taken and very expensive things. But when I said that I could not have it in the house, he's like, okay. And he packed it up. And to this day, I do not know where it is. I know
Wow.
that it's in my garage somewhere. Uh, but outside of that, I don't
Yeah.
know. And that's a really helpful thing for me because knowing that he was still able to keep the things that he likes. And he will go in occasionally, get something, but he never takes it out of the garage.
Mhm.
And he doesn't do it in front of me, or he'll give me a heads up. He'll be like, I've had a really rough day. I
Mhm.
would like a drink to just chill out. Is that cool?
Yeah. Uh, that,
Right.
that's great. And I'm sure like with the different levels of the precaution, like at times where he knew that you couldn't see it at all, he would make sure that you're not seeing it all. And then now, a little bit into it, you might be able to tolerate just the idea, oh, I know he's going out there to do that or whatever, and it not really be a trigger, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
when I initially started this, I was like, if you want to drink, I need for you to go somewhere else. And so he'd go out with his buddies and he'd be drinking. And I, that kind of festered with me. And I was like, fine, you get to go out and drink and have fun with your friends. And I just got to stay at home and be sober. And so
right.
after that, he was like, okay, how about we try something different? And so that was the moving all the alcohol and him letting me know when he was going to have a drink if he's going to. And he's talked about how it's even helped him because it's cut down on his drinking and it makes him more aware of what his intake is.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that he is. I wanted to say I love that he's so supportive that he would get all that out into the garage, and that he's been more aware of his own intake, and like James said, he's probably become more aware of how it affects you, maybe more so than before.
Yeah. I hope that everybody has someone who could be that for them. Like I said, I'm very fortunate in having my husband, but I mean, hell, if I had like my sister come and do that for me, I would totally be okay with that. Or I'd tell my dad
Hmm.
because my dad knows what it's like to be a recovering alcoholic, and just there are certain things that you can't have. So,
Yeah. I really like the idea of the opportunity that this goal presents for people, that we can redefine ourselves. We can, over the course of a day or a couple of days, say, I'm going to be this new person. You can start to block out the old ideas, the the old habits, all those sorts of things, and start to bring in great changes. And then all of a sudden, you're a different person with different energy and different health. Your mental acuity has returned without all the poison. Your memory is better. Um, you're starting to do things that are better for your body, like exercising, and what you eat and all that. I almost do like a switch. It's like I forget entirely that I ever was uh, an alcoholic. Um, and I just move on in my new adventure. I think it's really great that we get to kind of do something like that in recovery. it's important for me to remember, to remind myself, like I go to AA every now and again just to remind myself that I'm an alcoholic, that I can't be one of those people that can uh, go to Olive Garden and be like, oh yeah, you know, 1 cup of wine, that's going to be just fine. I have to be reminded on a weekly basis that that's not going to work for me. It never will work for me. But that aside, I get to carry on this adventure and just strive to be healthy and a good human.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. I mean, I think that that's what we're all trying to do, but it we're talking specifically about alcohol, but in any substance that you're trying to get away from or stop doing. My cousin has struggled with a heroin addiction for a long, long time.
Mm.
And so whenever he falls off the wagon, he contacts me and I end up taking what he's got, flushing it down the toilet, and then taking him to the methadone clinic so that he doesn't, um, because withdrawals from heroin are really, really bad. Um, so like I said, it's a matter of finding that person that you can rely on, that you can count on, that you can say, hey, I screwed up, and not be judged,
Yeah,
and just have them be supportive for you and help you with your recovery.
yeah. I think along with that, this you have to keep trying each day. Like say if you mess up, you slip, that's okay. You might have to try again. You might have to try again 50 times or 100 times until you actually make that leap or you find those people that can help you on that journey. Um, a lot of people think that this is just a one and done, uh, your sobriety. It's something that you constantly have to work at. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with keep trying as long as you don't just completely give up and consent to being that that person that you don't want to be permanently.
Yes, do not give up. Don't give up. Don't say I'm an alcoholic for the rest of my short life. Don't say I'm a coke addict for the rest of my short life. No, choose that turnaround.
Every day is what little bit you can until you've made a lot, until you're several months into it. Uh, then several years, and then you'll look back and be proud of yourself with each one of those milestones that you make. Um, I've mentioned the coin system before that AA has, and it has an interesting effect on me. That I see this coin. It's something that it's just a cheap little coin, uh, but it has such meaning to me that I know that I've made it to that point, and I just want to keep doing that. I want to keep being that person. I want to make that progress. I don't want to erase everything. I don't want to have to not start over. It's not the right word because like we're talking about, it's sometimes it takes a lot of tries, but
Well, you don't want to
it's one.
regress. You don't want to
Yeah,
regress.
right. Yeah.
To move forward. So I have a note here I wanted to mention. Consider what is truly important to future you, because in the future you're gonna care. Why not care today? You spend that whole $100 bill and you leave nothing for tomorrow, then tomorrow you were going to care about that. So why not care today? And maybe only spend $30. Save some for later. Care about future you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a butterfly effect uh situation. You're you're trying to affect your future self with those small things, that's neat to think about. Anything that you do affects your future self. And how do you want that path to go?
Well, and also the choices that you make affect the people around you as well. So, like with myself, with my children, saying that I'm not going to be like this anymore is showing them that you can make bad decisions, but that there's always forgiveness, there's always a comeback, there's always a way to um, hold yourself accountable for making sure that you are taking care of yourself. Um, which my kids are absolutely awesome at keeping me in check because if we go out to eat, they're like, my my son is actually taken to ordering my drink for me. I'll be like, and she'll be having a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. I love that.
Uh, he he's kind of a smart ass, but he's got really good intentions, and anytime that I have slipped up and he's come and he's talked to me about it, and he's like, well, I'm disappointed that you did this, Mom, but at least you're fixing it, and it's going to get better.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
my
lot
son
of love there.
my son would be a very good coach for us to have on here.
Agreed.
You can have a guest star.
I've
Yeah.
invited him to our meetings. I hope he'll come one day.
Yeah.
Hope he will join
Yeah.
us.
All you have to do is tell me, I can go get him.
Come on in here.
Hmm.
Uh, so
That's one of the benefits of having your kids live in the house with you is, hey,
I,
you do this right now.
I know you're busy with work and your kids and all that. Were there any other activities that you any other things that you did in the initial week or two that helped distract you?
um, I think staying busy with projects on my house. Um, and this would go for like doing any type of projects. My husband has gotten into building ship models.
Oh,
And right now we're working on redoing the shower in our upstairs bathroom that for three long years has not been able to be used because we took everything down, and it was always like, okay, I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to that. Oh, I'll get to that eventually. And there was always an excuse. And a lot of times the excuse was, well, I've had too much to drink to go to the hardware store, and yeah, or I've had too much to drink to like even try and do this, or I always had an excuse as to why it wasn't done. And now it's like there is no excuse. And
hmm.
so that's what we're working on today. In fact, I'm taking a break from working on that with my husband. So
No, thank you for joining
we'll show
us with,
the
yeah,
progress when we get done.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'd love to see that. And just think about every time you're going to be using that here in the future, you're gonna have that note that like, hey, this is part of my journey to sobriety. This I achieved this because I was making good decisions. That's awesome.
I have to explain my shower a little bit because there's a reason why this is such an awesome project for me. My shower is 8 foot by 6 foot. So it's
It's
a
massive.
ginormous shower. Yes.
Yeah.
And it has 15 different water jets in it. So
Wow.
like three main sprayers, and then you have like the body jets.
You just like spin
So,
around in it.
yeah, yeah.
Ah.
And it's got a marble bench in there too. So it's like once that is done, yeah, I'm really going to enjoy that. Like I'm sitting here in my hot tub room. This is one of my favorite places to be in my house. One, because I like being in water all the time, but also because the shower hasn't been capable of running. And so I'm getting worried that I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm going to shut the hot tub down and just screw it. I got the shower in the house.
Ooh. Yeah, I need a place with like a 6 or 7 foot long bathtub. because I'm this thing's like this long and I'm curled up like a pretzel in there trying to get under the water. Um,
I
yeah,
honestly do not understand that. With the average height of men being about 6'1", isn't it? Um, why they make bathtubs so small?
uh-huh.
Because like I'm 5'2", I can get into the bath and like lay down in it and have my knees up out of the water. My husband, on the other hand, not a chance in hell.
Yeah. This reminded me, treating ourselves, doing self-care, uh,
Oh, yeah.
is a great part of recovery and adding that in. Um, it's weird how whenever you're using you stop doing a lot of things that you normally would. Uh, personal hygiene, cleanliness of your house, taking a nice hot bath in Epsom salt with bubbles and candles and a book and
Yeah.
anything that you want like that. Having the money to take yourself out to get your hair, your nails done, or uh, the money to afford a gym membership.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
See,
very
Judy.
nice.
And I,
Sorry, I had to point that out since you said nails.
No, that's good. We all find, I think, in our recovery that we start to get these little bonuses that we're given to ourselves and taking care of ourselves, that we may have gone without. Food was a big one for me. I would I would always go without food whenever I was using. Um, and so I treat myself with very nice meals. Um, nice for me.
I like a really good steak that at the grocery store by our house, you can get the artisan butter. So there's like a red pepper butter, there's a Parmesan, oregano butter, different ones like
Uh,
that, and cooking steak in that. Oh, that's good.
yeah.
You can even make some of your own, just like so what I did with a stick of butter is I mixed in some garlic and a little bit of extra salt and pepper, and then just put that in the fridge and used it whenever I would cook. And that's tasty,
Mm.
very tasty.
Yeah. Every now and again, I'll add butter to my steak process, but normally, I just have a dry steak and a hot pan, and you could like throw it at it and it would stick to it.
So you're saying that you like them blue rare?
Well, no, I like it sticks to it and gets that nice sear on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll do the butter, but yeah, normally just straight seasoned meat. And I do like 6 or 7 spices on it.
Well, and other things that I found is that it's also given me the ability to buy, for lack of a better word, frivolous things for the people in my family because um, having the extra money and whatnot. So having gone on vacation, make sure to get my dad and my stepmom both uh, something from the travels, and that's something that normally I wouldn't be able to do because that money would be
Yeah.
drawn away, basically.
That's a great thing to mention. The act of helping others, being able to, uh, not uh, it not only helps them, helps yourself as you're going. You feel good about it. You are actively distracting yourself from addiction by helping somebody else. That's one of my favorite things. And it's like whenever you're sober and you're feeling good, you see these opportunities to help people that you would otherwise just be too much in a blur to notice. Um, like I, my folks, they're hurting for money. They have been for a long time, you know. And it just kind of occurred to me that, my mom would really like to to browse one of those Temu sites or Alibaba or one of those things. And and just have a shopping spree of $20. Like it would mean a lot to her. But I would never think about doing that if I was drinking. It's just weird how those things just disappear from your life. But I know I just made her week. She's probably telling all the neighbors, like my son made these happen, put on some glasses or something. I don't know. She, I know she bought those for my dad. Uh, she
That's
bought
a
a
very
lot.
cool.
Yeah. Um,
Really nice of you, James, to sober up and think of your family. I really like that.
yeah. And
It
then
does create more mindfulness. You're more likely to send that text message or reach out to somebody. You have a
absolutely.
sober mind.
I've been keeping up with everybody much more than I was before. Uh Keeping up with everything in general. I hit so many doctor's appointments every week for physical and mental stuff and then AA and whatnot. It's like I got this calendar going, keeping track. I'm making my appointments. I'm not calling people and be like, I don't feel like it. I know we made that plan to do this on Saturday, but I don't feel well today because I'm hungover. You know, Stuff's just happening and it's not stressing me out like wow, I'm overwhelmed with all this stuff. It's almost like it just gets easier to do all this stuff and anything else that we want, including self-care. Yeah.
Well, one of these days it'd be nice to have someone who has mastered not smoking to come on here and give us some advice, some tips. Because
Yeah.
I know that
I,
that's one thing I've repeatedly told my children. I'm like, do not ever touch a cigarette. Do not,
mhm,
do not smoke it. I said, because just even one can get you hooked. And then you think that, oh, well, you look so awesome because you smoke or you vape. And
yeah.
um, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
So we make fun of them while we're in the car driving. We're like, oh, look, there's
Yeah.
another Puff the Magic Dragon.
So cool. Look at him. So cool.
And there's a kid who has we call him Sideshow Bob because he's got like this really crazy hair
Uh-huh.
and he vapes. Oh my gosh. My son has a heyday with that one. He's like, look, the Q-tip, it's smoking. We gotta put it down.
Yeah. Uh,
So I've specifically made it not cool to my kids. I've made it to where it's like smoking, it makes you stink, makes your breath smell bad. It's so addictive and it's so not good for you. And you hurt your lungs and
yeah.
all of this other stuff. And so I can proudly say that I have my youngest at 16 and my oldest at 22 now. Um, they've never smoked.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So,
and another thing, how smoking's bad. If you smoke and you're trying to get into the dating scene, you can just cut out 90% of the people because
oh
they
yeah.
don't smoke. You know what I mean?
Is that good or is that bad?
Uh, see, I haven't achieved the first step in quitting smoking yet. The one admitting that I need to quit, or deciding that it's time. None of those. I've decided that that time is in the future for a little bit. One day I think I'll flip that switch though, and I'll just forget that I ever smoked. Um, hopefully I'll get there. And yeah, we could potentially having somebody that can help us quit smoking can be that impetus for change on that. Might just open my eyes one day, create that moment.
I know one of the things that I do during the colder months, and well, I mean, I do this all the time anyway, but I don't smoke inside my house.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere that, like, I'm sitting on the steps to my hot tub room, but I don't smoke fully in my hot tub room.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and that's kind of the only undercover place that I have that I can smoke, like if it's raining or something. So during the winter months, going outside will make it so much easier to not want to have another cigarette. You'll have that one and then just be like, okay, I'm done. I'm cold. I'm going
Uh,
inside.
I hate the cold now, so that'd be. I wish I had a nicer place, because then I might be encouraged to do that. Uh, I'm almost like smoke because I'm gonna make you smoky and stain. I hate you, cheap ghetto apartment. I've thought about that with my new car, new old car. Uh, I'm smoking it, but I think about it. If I have the top up on it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make that thing smell like smoke if I do that, Where my previous car, I was like, so I guess that might be an impetus for change for me if I found a new apartment that was nice
Mhm.
and I didn't want to smoke inside, or it wasn't even allowed, that would be maybe well, I'm gonna consider that as being a good tool to quitting this.
It, it's an option.
Because I definitely won't go outside if it's cold. I mean, I like look through the cracks, be like, is it cold out there? Oh no, is it raining? I don't like any of that stuff.
So
Better see sunshine.
the reason I don't have my picture on right now is because I am enjoying a cigarette. But Amber, let me tell you what is helping me right now get to closer to 3/4 of a pack a day. I'm pretty close to 3/4 of a pack a day by setting a timer for 1 hour and whatever every time I light up a cigarette. And so there's about an hour, and I think the average is about an hour and 30 minutes in between each cigarette. Sometimes I give myself a crazy break, but for the most part, I like hearing the chimes that go off when that timer goes
Uh,
off, and I'm like, yeah, it's my reward. I made it this far, and now I have more than one pack of cigarettes in my drawer at the end of the day instead of half a pack. Uh, that's something that's helping me. I don't know if a timer on your phone would motivate you, and it's
yeah.
helping me.
Well, no, that's good because it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier about you have to keep trying, and I've seen your effort with that, and I've seen your clock timer get longer and longer, and it's like you're actively making that progress where I'm not even like to the try level yet.
Well,
So kudos for that. Uh,
you're at the
Yeah.
awareness. You've got
I
awareness of it, and that's a good thing. That's a start.
Yeah, I suppose I could start a timer that I could accept, like a 15-minute timer.
Hey, that's a start. I mean, if you're smoking, nonstop, then any intermission in between doses of nicotine might
Yeah.
be, and who knows, you might get back to that level where like you get that every, that strong sense of satisfaction every hour or two
Oh yeah.
from. That's something I miss personally about my addiction with tobacco. Is getting
Uh,
satisfaction out of it. So now I'm getting to a state where I feel better about it at the end of that timer, and I push it up to an hour and 40 minutes. And here's the other thing that helps a tremendous amount when you're making it to the end of the timer and trying to exceed it. Go to the bathroom, make a drink,
oh,
make a drink of
yeah.
non-alcoholic drink, but make a good flavorful drink,
Quick little
and
distraction.
start a YouTube video.
Uh-huh.
Yes, distract yourself for that extra 5 minutes. Forget about the timer for a minute if you can, and then be like, "Oh, I forgot my timer went off," and now
That's true.
you've gone 2 hours that time because you distracted yourself by
Uh-huh.
going to the bathroom, making a drink, and watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, I think that's
That's
great for all addictions, right? Um, um,
I there are times that I have gotten so busy in my days where I just pack them full of different activities and things that I have to get done that I'll reach the end of the day and I'll be like, dude, I didn't even smoke today.
Wow,
It
awesome day.
will not dawn on me. So that's another thing with the distractions is it, just really keeping yourself busy and trying to find different things to do. I mean, even if it's like going out and taking a walk, go
yeah,
around the apartment complex, see, go pay attention to the small things. That's really what I've found a lot of joy in is this will sound silly, but there was a praying mantis that was on a chair outside my house. And I was just sitting there fascinated with it. And I was like watching it and waiting to see what it was going to do. And then it just sprung off and scared the crap out of me. but it made me laugh. And it was just neat to have sat there for the whole time paying attention to something else.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Actually, whenever about the only time I don't smoke, I think, is when I'm playing guitar and singing. It's like it's really hard to smoke during that time. But that's the easy way for me to burn like half an hour, and then, well, that's a half hour without me smoking. Two, I'm practicing something for a half hour. So it's good progress and good health decisions. So I'm gonna play more music.
Nice.
There you
That,
go.
yeah, that's something I can do today. Uh,
Well, and I've taken to doing silly things with my children. So I'll see if I can get him to stay put for a second. Rocky. Hey, let me get my camera turned around. Oh, will it do it? No, it won't do it.
oh, there
There
it
we go.
goes.
Hey, Rocky
Uh-huh.
boy.
Look at me. Look, see my eyebrows. Rocky, show him your eyebrows. Look.
Oh, yep. I'm
So
doing that with my cat.
my daughter and I did that while I was doing my makeup today. She goes, "Can we put eyebrows on the dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." It's not the first time that we've done it either, and so just so that people know, we use a vegan eyeliner on him to put the eyebrow stuff on.
No
So we just
animals were harmed in the process of these eyebrows.
right. It's also so that it won't hurt him, and he doesn't have any toxins or anything on him.
Yeah.
But it lasts on him for about 2 weeks, and it is funny as hell because he makes the weirdest expressions, and so when he has the eyebrows to emphasize it,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, yeah. So if you have
Yeah.
a dog, give that a shot.
That's a great idea. Yeah, no, I want to put like big square ones on my cat that are kind of slanted inward like this, just like evil eyebrows.
Now, if you can get your cat to sit still for that, I will be very impressed.
I think it's gonna have to be like tape. It won't last long, I'm sure. No, my animals have helped me a lot with my process to sobriety. A good distraction, a good place that you can always go to. They're always there for giving you some free loving. Um, yeah, limitless. And then eyebrows on them.
Even when you don't want that free loving,
Yeah,
they're
right.
happy to give it to you.
Uh, my cat and dog played together like 14 hours straight yesterday, and just
Wow.
running back and forth, all that. I'm like, you guys are stressing me out. What sound does this make? I love it. What about this other thing? Who cares if there's drinks in it?
We had that the other night with our kitten. He got up and there was a glass left on our dining room table, and the kitten knocked it off the dining room table and it shattered everywhere and had water everywhere. And we're just like, oh, you freaking cat.
Oh,
Like this, the kitten is like the most cat that we have. Um, we have 4 cats, and so 2 of them are just old, fat, and lazy. And
That's my kind
then
of cat.
yeah, those are my favorite type. But the other 2, oh my gosh, one talks all the time,
Yeah.
constantly meowing. And then the kitten, um, he's not used to the kids being back in school. And so during the day, he is just a mess with me. He's like, you have to pay attention to me because there's nobody else here. And it's like, Oh my God, not go away.
Uh, so I have just a few more notes on this. I think we can wrap up our session here. But some other benefits of being a clean, healthy person, healthy mind, clear-headed. Um, you have more meaningful conversations with people, stuff that you actually remember. Hey, what's up, Super Duper?
Hey, Super
Good to see you,
Duper.
buddy.
Hey,
Hey,
welcome.
James, how are you?
Oh, dude, I'm awesome. I'm so proud of you for being on this journey with us. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
No problem, James.
How have you been doing?
I'm feeling all right. I'm in a happy mood today.
Fantastic. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Hi, Samson.
Samsung.
Thank
What's
you,
your name?
Amber.
Amber.
Deb? Amber?
Uh,
Amber, yeah.
yeah, or Desiree. It doesn't matter. I think it
Oh,
says
okay.
Desiree.
Yes.
You
Nice
have
to
a
meet
great
you.
smile.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a smiling person.
I love your energy.
I love you. My energy is perfect and I love it. My attitude is good. So
Yeah, wonderful.
yeah.
Would you mind sharing anything about your progress with addiction or your issue with any substance, or you don't have to if you don't want, but I'm curious because we've seen you a few times,
Mhm.
and I'm rooting for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I was mentioning a minute ago, other benefits, things that happen whenever you're clear and healthy. I I regret I have much fewer regrets of conversations and things that I've said. I don't wake up the next day and be like, "Well, I totally told that guy we were new best friends at the at the bar or whatever." It's like it seems like you always do that. You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna see you again, buddy. Let me get your number down." You're like, "Oh, what am I doing?" It's like everything is real now. Every connection that I make is somebody's name that I'm gonna more likely remember and actually be interested in seeing them again, interested in seeing their journey. Just like Kaleem here. I like calling you Super Duper though. Uh, you guys have anything else before we wrap this thing up?
I like what you said about not having to regret any conversation that you've had. That's
Mhm.
always been a sore point for me, is having to go back the next day or the next week or whenever I'm able to talk to that person again and go, hey, that conversation that we had? I don't remember half of it. And the half that I do remember, I was a bitch. So about that,
Yeah, yeah,
not having to do that anymore is really nice.
yeah. Definitely, it's cathartic and freeing on our journey.
Yeah.
Shoot. Um, well, man, great meeting. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you again, Super Duper, for introducing yourself to us. It's such a pleasure to have you with us and to have seen you come back a couple times now.
No
We look forward
problem.
we look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Hopefully, we'll work on a good topic. And
So what time is on every Saturday?
What time
it's
zone
two.
are you in? What are you on Eastern, Central, or are you Mountain, or are you Pacific time?
I'm doing the Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern time? Okay, so the meeting's gonna be at 3 p.m. your time. That's when we kick it off.
Okay.
That's
That's
2
right. That's
p.m.
right.
Central time.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you Saturday. Thank you,
I'm
Amber. Thank you, Kaleem.
I'm
Thank you,
cool with
James.
that.
All right.
Thank you for showing up, and it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, love
Nice
you
to meet
guys.
you too,
Y'all keep killing it.
Amber.
That's okay.
Yes.
Bye bye.
All right. Have a good weekend, guys.